Hello you gorgeous makeup lovers and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kerry if you don't know me, and I love all things beauty and makeup related, especially eyeshadow palettes. I have a passion for eyeshadow palettes, especially when they are UK indie brands, and again that is what we have today. I am super excited to be diving into the new Arttitude Cosmetics palette, so if you're interested in seeing that, stick around and subscribe. So when I realised Arttitude were dropping a new palette, I was super excited. I really do like Arttitude Cosmetics, which is why I am a brand ambassador for them, and I was very kindly gifted this palette. I'm so excited to do multiple looks for you with this today, and this is what the outer packaging looks like. As I'm filming this right now, it hasn't been revealed, nobody knows about it, only the few people that have been sent the palette, so I am so excited. Let's get into the close-ups and the swatches, and then I'll tell you about it.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better, so much better. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I want to be silly, baby. The night away, I'll kick my shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free and maybe you will find that there is...
So as you can see, it is super cute the way that the outer packaging, you can sort of see through the claw marks what is going to be going on underneath. I like the design of this, I like the theming of it. Maneater, sort of tiger vibes. Unbelievably, this palette is going to retail for £27.99, which is astonishing to me. Now, I have already used this once to create a look which should be on my Instagram. I didn't film it, and I was blown away by the quality. I know I've got gifted this in PR, and I know I'm a brand ambassador, but I do not have to say that. I can give my full honest opinions, and that I do. So far, playing with this in the shades that I've used, I was super impressed. So for £27.99, and I have a discount code that will take some money off that as well, and it's not affiliated, it will just save you some pennies, so I'll pop that on the screen and in the description below. Now, because I am filming this a little bit early, I don't have every single bit of information about this palette, but I will put as much information as I can in the description box for you. So this is a feminism inspired palette, and it is launching on Thursday the 30th of March at 4 PM UK time. 10% of all profits for the palette will be split across various women's charities, which I absolutely love that. I love it when brands, especially little indie brands that, you know, the profit margins can be a lot smaller, they're giving back to charities, so I do really like that. So on the back it says 20 gorgeous eyeshadows, 5 unique textures, 10 buttery easy to blend mattes, 4 gorgeous reflective shimmers, 3 high definition foils, 2 soft multi-chromes with a subtle colour shift, and 1 luxurious iridescent shimmer. 100% vegan and cruelty free, and the shelf life is 12 months. Look how gorgeous that this packaging is. Let's have a little look on the inside. I know you've already seen the close-ups, but when I saw this colour story, my mind was actually blown. I think this is the best colour story that Arttitude Cosmetics have come out with so far. This is so up my street, it's unreal. It's got greens, it's got a black, which if you've been on my channel before, you know I like some depth. It's got light tones, it's got mid-tones, it's got depth. I'm excited to dive into this and play around with it with you guys. Now, it does have a nice big mirror if that's something that interests you, and it does have sort of a half and half matte to shimmer ratio, so I'm not mad at that. I think that caters for a lot of people, and you do have a brown in here, you do have some more neutrally leaning tones if you just wanted to keep something a little bit more neutral, but me, I like bright Technicolor, so I will be sticking to the very bright bold colours that are included in this. Now I am going to be priming with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. Everything that I'm using in this video will be linked in the description box, just in case you're interested in what foundation I'm wearing, anything like that. And some of those links are affiliated, so if you shop through them, thank you so much for supporting my channel. You know me and you know I absolutely love indie brands. It's one of my passions when I'm buying eyeshadow palettes. If I can buy from an indie brand, that makes me super happy, especially when they are on the smaller side and especially when they are UK based. That is my absolute perfection. Just like Cosmic brushes, I feel like Arttitude are one of my favourite UK indie brands. The reason I wanted to do a multiple look video with this as well is because look at the variety in this palette. There are so many different ways you can go. It's insane the amount of looks that you could come up with this, but I did do, for the first play with this, I used the greens and the sort of purple tone and a little bit of the pink. So I think for this look, what I want to do is stick to the more orangey neutrally tones, and maybe we'll use some of the greens, maybe a green shimmer? Do I really have a plan though? No, not really. So I think I'm going to start out with a shade called Tiger, which is this nice orangey tone here. Make sure my creasy lids are not creasing. That would be a good start, wouldn't it? So I'm going to go into Tiger and I'm just going to pop that on the outer corner area and a little bit in the crease. And like I say, this isn't my first play with this. This is the second time I'm using this palette, but I was actually so impressed with the pigment and blendability the first time I used this. I feel like this formula and this colour story is just the absolute best that Arttitude have done by a mile. I just feel like a brand as well that gets better and better over time is just real good. People that really just want to hone in on their formulas, their colour story, what people are wanting. Look at this colour. I do love an orange. I love an orange eyeshadow, but it's not too bright and in your face. It kind of is a more muted orange, so I feel like it will cater to a lot more people that maybe are a little bit more scared of an orange shadow. It's going on beautifully and it looks like it's going to blend itself out like an absolute dream. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Look at this. I'm just fluffing my brush over the edge and it's just blending itself out beautifully. Like, I can't tell you how much I love the formula of the mattes that I've used so far in this palette. And then toward the inner corner, I am going to dip into the yellow, which is called Siberian, which is here. And I'm just going to press that on and connect it up to the orange. Don't worry, I am going to deepen up the outer corner. People that know me know that I like my depth in a look. It just adds so much dimension. So I'm just packing this on and making sure it's leading nicely into that orange. Like, that has taken me all of 2 minutes max, and that's because I've been talking, but look how beautiful and pigmented but blendable these shades are. I'm going to go back into a little bit of the orange just to make sure the blend is how I want it to be, but I know quite a lot of people are like, oh, if you get things in PR or you're a brand ambassador, you're just going to say it's good. Like, that is not me at all. I will definitely be honest with everything that I review. It doesn't make me happy to say things are rubbish or that I don't enjoy them, but I will definitely give you my honest opinion, because if you're watching me and I'm not honest with you, and then you end up buying whatever it is and hating it, then you've lost your trust in me, and then my YouTube channel is pointless. That is looking so freaking good. I'm so excited about this palette, honestly. Right, let's go into the black, which is called Wanted. Look how deep and midnight this black is. So I'm going to go in on a slightly more smaller tapered brush because I know that this is quite a pigmented black. Look how pigmented that black is. I personally love a pigmented black. I'm not going to go in with any more product, I don't. But I do love a black that is just there, bam. You can create so many amazing smoky eyes with just a pigmented black. Just bang it all over the lid and put a shimmer on top. Actually, I could do that for one of the looks. I might do that. And just to make sure that black and orange blend together nicely, I'm going to go into a little bit of Beast, which is this deep brown here. And I'm just going to pop that between the black and the orange, just because that's sort of a middly kind of tone between them both, and it will make sure that the blend is more seamless. I can't lie, I feel like I'm very Lion King right now. These tones are giving me Lion King vibes. Just going to run those shades along the lower lash line as well. Keep it quite cohesive with the mattes that we are using. This is actually looking quite a neutral look for me right now, isn't it? But I know a lot of people do appreciate neutral tones, neutral looks, and neutral shades in a palette. And I definitely do if I can make them as dramatic as humanly possible. Okay, now I'm really stuck on the shimmers because they all look spectacular. Like, I'm in love with the colour selection of the shimmers in here because you do have a more neutrally leaning shimmer here. This one looks like a duochrome, definitely. This is kind of like a pinky, goldy, bronzy shade here, and Bengal you could use with a neutral look, and so could you with claws. But which one am I gonna use? Okay, if you have the Pastel Roses Pigment Autumn Love, this shimmer called Kingdom looks just like it but in metallic form. Wow, that's stunning. That's Bengal. Oh, it's so bright and delicious. Endangered. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Free. I missed one. Untamed. I'm sorry guys, but these shimmers, beautiful. Okay, I have just popped on a cut crease and I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Kerry, what are you thinking? I think I definitely want to include the shade Endangered, and I'm thinking Kingdom looks insane, but I'm not sure what we're going to use in the inner corner. Maybe Claws. So I'm going to start with Endangered, which is the gorgeous, delicious green foily shade. Now, I have sprayed it just to minimise any fallout that might happen, and I'm just going to keep this. Why is my mirror so far away from me now after this cut crease situation? Just going to keep this. Oh, it's so reflective and metallic-y. I'm going to keep this to the middle of the lid because I think I want to put that Kingdom shade on the outer corner area. Not actually on the outer corner, but oh, this green. Picking up super easily on my referral brush, having no issues with that. Then going into Claws just near the inner corner. Oh yes, that was a wise decision. That is beautiful, and just brightening things up but still keeping it on the sort of yellowy toned side of things. Then last but not least into Kingdom, which definitely does have a beautiful shift to it. Just seen it on my brush as I was spraying it, and this would look insane all over the lid. Then you'd really capture the shift in it. If you're using a lot of the shade, especially over the curve of your eye, you will definitely see more of a duochrome shift rather than just using it as a bridging shade, which is kind of what I'm doing, but I couldn't not use it because it looked beautiful. And back into a little of the mattes just over the edge of that shimmer, just to make sure it's blended nicely into each other. But I'm actually loving this look, and with that pop of green, it's giving me neutral but also dramatic. I really did love the first look I did with this palette. Like I say, I didn't film it. It will be over on my Instagram, but I was really in love with that look. That is one of my favourite looks that I've ever done, to be honest. Considering how I pack things on, I have very, very minimal fallout. Like, I am heavy-handed, like, and that just brushed away. I'm quite impressed with that. Okay guys, I think that's it for the eyeshadow. Let me pop on the rest of my makeup and then we'll come back and see what the whole thing looks like. So guys, this is the first finished look with the Arttitude Cosmetics Maneater Untamed palette. I have to say, although this, for me, is on the more neutral side, I know what you're thinking, I've still been able to make it very dramatic, introduce a green shimmer on the lid, and I did come in with a bright orange lip, because it's me. So the lip I used was the Maybelline Colour Sensational Lip Liner in Coral Fire, and then I did also use a bit of my Colourpop glowing lip in, what is this in? Desert Aura. I did also line the cut crease just a tiny bit with this really old LA Splash liner in It's a Wickedly Divine eyeliner in Rosaline. Yeah, it's a bit old now. It was a little bit chunky and a little bit difficult to work with, but I mean, we got there. And then in the waterline, I have the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in Electric Daisy, just to tie in with that green shimmer on the lid. But I have to say, obsessed with this look. Real sad that I'm going to have to take this off later today because I've got to pop into work. It's still giving me Lion King vibes, and I'm not mad at it because who doesn't like the Lion King? Please do let me know what you think to this look down below, and let's dive in to look number 2. So guys, for look number 2, it's been quite a number of days since I filmed the first look, so I can't actually remember the exact shades that I used. But I'm filming this one now, and I have sort of a plan. I definitely want to play with some greens. That is just what I want to do today, and this palette has some beautiful greens. And I have seen on Instagram that Arttitude are not just releasing a palette with this collection, they are releasing the most beautiful looking brush set. It is gonna retail for $49.99, but the amount of brushes that you're getting and the nice case it comes in, like, I'm tempted to pick that one up, I'm not gonna lie. And they're a beautiful green, so yeah, they look amazing. There's also a green sponge. I do have the black one from Arttitude somewhere. I think I've cleaned it. I really like that one, and I would like a bright green one. Oh, there's a collection of lashes as well, and they look super nice. Like, this whole collection, like, I thought it was just going to be an eyeshadow palette, but seeing the other things that are coming out with this collection, I just think all of it is really cohesive. It matches the theme, and it all looks like really nice stuff. Okay, so I think what the plan for today is going to be is I might start out with, like I said, I can't actually remember what I did in my last look. I might start out with the black or the brown, going into Nocturnal, going into Camouflage and Wild. I just want to use the greens and incorporate them. Not quite sure what shimmer we're going to use on the lid yet. But yeah, I want to play with the greens. Actually, before I go in with my deepening shade, I am going to start out with the shade Nocturnal. I know, who am I, not starting out with my deeper shade? I don't know what's happened. And I'm just going to place this around the outer corner area. This shade actually matches my top really, really well. Wow, okay. I really, really like just looking at the palette, that there's different shimmer formulas in this. You can see that, I can see at least 2 that are more traditional type shimmers, and the super duper special ones, the really reflective ones. It's just nice to see a variety. That is a beautiful deep green. Pigmented, going on beautifully, having no issues. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Then I'm going to go into Camouflage, and then I'm definitely jumping into a little bit of Wild as well. Those are just the mattes that I'm going to be working with. But this Camouflage shade looks like a swampy, beautiful green. It's sort of murky, which I absolutely love in a green. I mean, I don't discriminate between greens. I like all greens, but I do love me a swampy green. I'm just pressing that onto the edge of the previous shade. That's just how I prefer to do it. Straight off the bat with colourful shadows, and then I will work on a blend between the two and go back in with the original deeper green. So back in just to re-intensify that first green called Nocturnal, and make sure we're not losing any of that delicious pigment. These are so vibrant, these colours, and rich, and I'm not having any issues with patchiness or any problems whatsoever with blending. I might dip into just the tiniest bit of the black, just to pop in the very outer corner, just to make this a little bit more dramatic. Oh yeah, just that extra little bit of depth. Then I'm going to go into Wild, which was the bright green shade, and I'm just going to connect that up to the greens that we have and run that above my crease slightly. Look at how vibrant and gorgeous this green is in contrast with the others. And I will just take a little bit of that Wild shade just to blend on the very edges of the greens in the outer corner. I do like a gradient from light to dark of the same shade. It does make me very happy, especially when it's green. I think I might use a bit of the shade Tiger, which is the orangey shade, just for the lower lash line, because why not? Now for the shimmers, I'm definitely thinking I want to go into the green shimmer, which is called Endangered. Did I use that in my last look? I feel like I might have done. Maybe instead then I might use a little bit of Jungle and a little bit of Bengal. So I put Bengal on my brush and I have sprayed it, and I'm just going to pop that near the inner corner area. And I think that's going to tie in nicely with what's on the lower lash line. But I'm having no issues with the shimmer. It looks so beautiful on the lid. It looks metallic and foily. And I'm just going to blend that gently into the green matte, not like a harsh line like a cut crease, just sort of a little bit dispersed into that green. Then I'm going to flip my brush over and go into Jungle, which is the more traditional shimmer type of green here, just to use as many different shades as possible, because I don't think I used this one in the last look, if I'm remembering rightly, but I haven't sprayed this one. That is a beautiful colour. Although it's more of a traditional shimmer and not as sparkly and foily, that is such a stunning green. I'm feeling very Jungle vibes with this look. I've just realised I did green and orange before for the first look, but I must be getting confused because I did definitely use the more purpley tones and the pink shimmer for the look I did for Instagram, which I didn't film. Back in with some of the deep mattes just to go over the edge of the shimmer, and that is looking real nice, I think. I think I'm going to use the shade Untamed just to go in the inner corner and a little bit onto the lower lash line maybe. I have sprayed this and I'm just going to pop that. Well, that brightened things up, didn't it? Ooh, that is very pretty, and I am just going to run that on top of that orange shade. Oh! Okay, took a bit too much on your brush there, Kerry. A little bit too much. Just make sure it's connecting into the shimmer above and into the matte below. Okay, I think that's more or less it for the eyeshadow, guys. Let me jump off, finish up this look, and then we can talk about this palette.
I know you don't mean to, but you're blocking my view.
So guys, those are the finished looks, and I am super happy with this one. I think this one is my favourite out of the two. Please do let me know what your favourite is. The lip combination is my new Fenty Beauty lip stain in, what is this in? Zesty Bestie, for just like that lollipop lip type of effect. And I did use the lip liner. It's the MUA one called Heartfelt. And in my waterline, I went in with one of my Colourpop cream gel liners in UNTZ. I don't know. I'll try and link it if I can. It's very difficult to link these because they sell out all the time, especially the big set of all of them. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this has come out. I feel like I matched my top super well today. Green and orange is my favourite combination, as you can probably tell, because I kind of overlapped the looks, but I did them differently because I used more of the orangey browns for the mattes in the first look, and this time I've used more of the greens. But I will also have that extra look on Instagram, which is using, I think I used the greens, the purpley tone here, which is called Carnivore, the pink shimmer, absolutely incredible. I can definitely do more looks with this palette for you if you would like me to. Don't forget to check out the full collection. It's not just the palette, it's the gorgeous brush set, the eyelashes and the sponge as well. I'll definitely be having a little look at that myself, and don't forget to use my code if you want to pick anything up. Save yourself some pennies. It's not affiliated, it doesn't give me any money, it just helps to save you some money. So let's talk about this amazing palette. First of all, the price point. I was so shocked about the price point because it's so affordable for what you are getting. I can't believe the different shimmer textures, the quality of the mattes, just everything about this palette for the price, especially from an indie brand. I just think it's absolutely incredible. If I hadn't have got this palette in PR, I definitely would have picked it up for myself because number one, I do love Arttitude, which is why I'm a brand ambassador, and number two, because this colour story definitely speaks to me. I love greens, I love depth, I love light tones, like the variety is what speaks to me in this. It's just a nice size palette, it's not too big, it's not too small, you get a nice mirror, and I do think the quality is fantastic of all the shades that I have tried, to be honest. I'm excited to try this shade down here though, Free. I want to use more shades. I'm definitely going to do more looks on my Instagram, so check out my Instagram if you're interested in seeing more. But if you want any specific videos on this palette, then do please request that down below, what you would like to see with this. I definitely think it's value for money. The shades are pigmented, blendable. I had no issues with patchiness. Everything went on super pigmented, blended super well. Like I say, I like the variety of the shades in the palette. I think if you've never tried Arttitude before, now is the time. If you've been thinking about it and you've been thinking, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, but you want to dip your toe in the water, this is the palette to do that with, because this is my favourite from Arttitude by a mile. Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys. I hope this was interesting and informative, and it's given you an idea of whether you want to pick up the palette or even just some inspiration for different shades you can put together from the shadows you already have in your collection. I will have down below listed all of my socials as well as my Patreon group and my YouTube membership, and hopefully, guys, you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!